Hey viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist and welcome back to another round of So You're Being Hunted with me. And, what was his name again? I've completely forgotten. He's a guy who's totally never been on this channel before. You're going to have to help me out here. Was it Bill? Was that his name?
No, it's Jackalus.
Jackalus, okay. Well, welcome Jackalus. This is your first time on the channel, isn't it?
This is my first time. I've never done a So You're Being Hunted. Oh, how did I know what the game was called?
Oh, how did he know?
Like I've been on here before,
It's
yes.
like he has been on here, old Jackalus, old filmy old lad. He's over
I've
here.
been on here in many episodes.
Surprise, it's Phil.
Counted all the episodes that I've been in. There's definitely been a fair few.
There have been a fair few, yes.
We've had together.
Indeed, that's right. How are you doing today, Phil?
I'm all right, friend.
And how are you doing tomorrow?
I'll have to ask my psychic, who can see into the future.
Okay.
Work out where we. Hello, Janine. What am I looking like tomorrow? Oh, really? Oh, okay. Oh, sounds good.
I see.
I'm not telling you what.
You're not telling me, are you? Oh, okay.
No, that's just me.
Keep your secrets then. I see.
I shall.
You shall
Well,
indeed.
So You've Been Hunted, a game which I've never seen before. An interesting little survival game. What do you do in it? I don't actually know what concept the game is.
So this is a really new game, ladies and gentlemen, and you know, in order to explain the basic game mechanics, you have to find device pieces on a series of islands without being killed by robots.
Oh my goodness me! And when was this game released?
This game was released in, you know, just very, very recently in 2013.
Yes, that was only yesterday.
Only yesterday.
13. Not like it was 10 years ago.
No.
Good Lord, So You've Been Hunted is 10 years old.
I know.
Wow.
Can you imagine that?
So it's time for Life Tips number 2.
Yes.
Now, viewers may remember quite a number of episodes ago, we did a life tip on home buying.
Yeah.
And we said we were going to do more, which we haven't done in a while. I know about that, because we should have done it a bit sooner. But there you go. So we're going to do another life tips, and this one was suggested by yourself.
Yeah.
And this is car buying
Car
this
buying.
time. So buying a car.
A car.
Something no one should ever do. No. The very vehicle that gains you your independence.
Yes. Indeed. I mean, you know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Just say, before you buy a car, what is the first vital step that you need to do?
Well, I mean, I would have said the first vital step is to think about, you know, what do you need the car for? You know, to in order to
before
determine.
that.
Oh, well, learn to drive, obviously.
Learn to drive,
Yes.
That's a very important thing you must do.
Yes.
Which I believe in the UK is 16. You can start learning to drive.
17-ish, yeah.
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 I think there was plans that I believe that where they were going to increase the age, but I think it's still either 16 or 17. I can't quite remember now.
Yeah.
It was 16 when I took it, anyway.
Yeah. So you got to learn to drive. You got to get that driving license, ladies and gentlemen. Though I do believe the driving test here in the UK has definitely changed since we did it, because now.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, there's like
it has changed.
because when we were learning to drive rather, obviously there was a practical and a theory test, but now I think there's like a third stage that you have to do as well, which is sort of like a bit basically another sort of practical one where I think it's like you have to basically find your way to a destination that the examiner tells you without any sort of assistance. I think is that what it is? The third step.
I think the third step now is you have to follow without any assistance from the examiner, but using a GPS.
Ah, okay, yeah.
I think you have to follow a GPS basically. So you get given a destination, but go into the GPS. You have to follow the GPS to where it go, because obviously technology is marching on.
Yes.
And now that's what they do as part of the test. It's still the same old other stuff: the normal, default, practical, and the theory, which is divided into 50 question multiple choice, and also a hazard perception.
Yeah, indeed. And remember, with the hazard perception, ladies and gentlemen, you can't just spam click the mouse constantly.
Well, I underclicked, funnily enough.
Did you really?
I did enough, yeah. So I failed my theory first time, but passed it the second, and then I passed my practical the first time and failed the second.
Yeah. So
wait, what?
Wait,
what? Wait, what? How does that work?
How does that work?
Sorry, come again. Hello. I think my brain went on at that moment then. I passed first time, and then I decided to go for it. I decided for some reason I'll just do it the second time. Yeah,
just for the shits and giggles.
And I failed that time.
Yeah, indeed. And I think with me, I think I passed my theory first time round, but with the hazard perception, I did technically fail one of the rounds because I overclicked, but then I did all right on the other ones, so I still kind of got through. It was my practical that I actually only succeeded on the third try.
Yeah, but you still got there in
I
the
still
end.
got there. Yeah. Third time was the charm, indeed.
Third time the charm. But anyway, car buying. So once you've passed your test, that's when you'll need to start thinking about what sort of car you want. And don't go, oh, I could do with a Lamborghini.
That's not going to happen when you're young, folks. Yeah, but I would say, the definite next step is, if you're going to buy a car, is thinking about what you're going to need it for, so you can determine, is it the right thing for you to get? And for most people, that probably will be yes, because like Phil says, it brings you independence, and most people will have a need for one in life.
You need to look around as well. Various car dealerships. Have someone to help you, friends, family, parents, so they can come with you and have a look at the car themselves. That's what you got to do. You got to have a look on the various different websites. Look what sort of mileage you want, what sort of year of the car. So you need to see what year of the car. If you want to just start off with an old one, or if you want to go with something a bit newer.
Basically, also know your budget. How much are you prepared to spend? And if you are buying an older one, I suppose there's always that knowledge comes with it that it's an older car, so you might find yourself having to pay more for things like maintenance if it's gonna, if it has any requirements in that regard.
There's a more likely chance that it might break down or things like that.
Indeed.
That's what you've got to take into consideration, and you've got to see whether it has. There are some cars that are quite eco-friendly. You don't actually have to pay tax on them.
Indeed.
Which is good. And obviously, when you're there, you with the dealer, you'll actually start sorting out the insurance.
Yeah.
You have to have insurance.
Indeed.
A legal requirement is insurance.
Yes.
As well, so you've got to have it. There are three things mostly. I don't know how it is in other countries, but in the UK, cars need three very important things: tax. So they need to be taxed to be on the road. That's highly important. Insurance. To cover anything like damages or if you have crashes or anything like that. And the third thing is a fully valid MOT.
Yes.
For new cars, I don't think they have MOTs anywhere else. I think it's just a UK thing. But an MOT for newer cars, they have to have it after 3 years. So you get 3 years, but for any older cars and after that, you have to have it you have to have an MOT every year. And an MOT is designed. It's basically you take it into the garage, and the test has a look at how the car works under various conditions. It tests the brakes, the steering, the seat belt,
checks everything.
all the safety components in a car, airbags, all that.
It's basically making sure that it is roadworthy, that it's safe to be driving around. Yeah, in essence.
That reminds me, actually, I must see when my next MOT is due. I don't actually know. I can go on the government website and it tells you straight away, which is useful, because you don't usually get a notification. Unlike insurance and tax, when you have it, you don't get a notification for MOT. Insurance and tax, you get a notification about it. But MOT, so you might be able to get a reminder sent to you. But those are the three key things that you need to work out when you're
Indeed. And bear in mind, probably each year you will take it into the garage anyway for just like a routine service to make sure everything's spick and span. But that might be like another expense that you just have to bear in mind, depending on the make of car and whose garage you're taking it into and all that. So something else just to bear in mind.
But it's important to go around various different dealerships. Don't stick with one. You might have heard good things about like one dealership and be like, oh no, I'm sticking with them. But no, there might be a better deal at another dealership.
Ask your friends and family. They'll probably know. They'll probably have ideas for if there's any sort of good, reliable mechanics who can do things like MOTs or services, things like that.
Now be warned. I was just saying, be warned. Obviously, the goal of the dealership is to make a sale, so they're going to try lots of tactics to try and get you to get the car. It's got these features, it's got these, it's got this month warranty, and get this and that. So obviously they need to make a sale, because unfortunately for car dealerships, they work on commission.
Yes. Indeed. So you will get the usual salesman spiel probably from them, and you just have to sort of basically, before you go in, I think it's helpful to basically work out what it is that you really actually need, so that way you can tell what is basically just extraneous stuff that you don't actually require and what actually is important.
Yeah, you get all that, don't you?
Yeah.
You get all that rubbish. And the majority of people will have to get the car on the finance.
Yeah.
Because you won't be flush with money to buy the outright.
Indeed.
Unless it's a really old banger. But if you get normally, you probably have to get it on finance and work out a finance deal to pay it off.
So make sure you can afford it, ladies and gents. That's perhaps the biggest advice of all. Yes, because you don't want to be taking something on that you can't afford and all that.
Yeah, you need to make sure you're paying it monthly. Now, having a car can be a big rigmarole itself, because there's a lot of things to keep doing to keep maintaining it.
Yeah.
Because it does require quite a bit of maintenance.
Indeed.
To make sure it doesn't collapse.
Yeah. It doesn't just collapse outright on you. Yep.
On the floor. Can you imagine that?
Yeah. But like I say, that's where your sort of standard routine services kind of come in. Maybe like once every year or whatever, just to check things over, make sure everything's ticking properly, things like that. So yes,
it'll be a nice experience. That's one thing.
Yes.
When you get the car and drive it out the dealership, that's very nice. Obviously, you've got to get used to everything. That's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Like all the pedals and everything. And if you've been driving a manual and it's gone to automatic, or it's an automatic and you've gone to manual, you have to obviously get used to the different styles.
Thing is, when you're buying a car, all dealers probably will let you take it for a test drive if you're interested in it, and then you can make a decision. So definitely take advantage of that. Indeed.
Some of them actually, there are some people at the dealership who actually let you take the car out on your own.
Yeah.
That's
interesting.
Got a lot of trust.
Yeah. First car I ever owned, the deal actually did let me and my dad do that, take it out on our own, and there's like a lot of trust that, because
I had one where I went on my own, and one where the where the dealership man came with us.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's got like, because you could easily just run off with it.
Indeed, yeah. Aye, so
mind you, I don't think it'd hold up too much, because then if you did happen, the dealership could easily, they've got the registration.
Yeah, exactly.
They can track it down, and they'll just call the police straight away.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, they usually say bring it back by a certain time or whatever. So then,
just getting used to it. Make sure you understand how the various things, because obviously manuals and automatics are different. Make sure that you've got to understand that if you do pass a driving test in an automatic, you can't drive a manual car.
Indeed.
You can only drive a manual car if you pass the driving test in a manual car.
Yeah. So bear that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you know what you're qualified to
drive
as well. Yeah.
You can drive both if you pass in a manual.
Yeah, yeah. Indeed.
Automatic is so much easier. The car I have is an automatic, actually, and it is also so much easier because you don't have to worry about changing gears.
Yes.
I mean, it's a thing to do when manual. When I've changed over to a manual car, when I had my infamous crash, the hire car they gave me was a manual one. Yeah. So it was like, my left leg is having to do something now, and changing gear. And because I was so used to an automatic, obviously as the car was going, it was starting going. I was going, oh shit, yeah, I need to change gear.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You're sort of forgetting that you actually need to do something about that. And it's to stop that horrible throaty noise that cars make when they're ready to change gear.
I believe that in the US a lot of their cars are automatic.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of manual cars, or stick shift as they call it. They don't have them a lot. They have a lot of automatic. But it's an interesting experience to buy a car, and when you've done all the stuff with the dealership, you'll probably be with the dealership for a while trying to sort out all the stuff. But once you've got it and drive off, that's when you can get used to it and love it and care for it and wash it when you need to and make sure it's all looking good, tires are good, and everything else is good. And
indeed. The thing is, if you ever get to a point where you're going to buy a new car, you can always do the trade-in things with most dealers, where they'll buy your old car off you, and they can maybe subtract that from the price of the one that you're.
That's it, and that's what's called a part exchange.
Part exchange. There you go. That's the term. Yeah, I did that when I bought my second car. Sold off the old one to them, and they basically subtracted it from the cost of the new one, which was great. Made it more affordable, which was fantastic. So it's always an option. Indeed.
And the good thing about dealerships is, and private, they do work on Saturdays as well. So
Yeah.
if you've not got time to get out of work or take a day off work, then you can do it on a Saturday.
Indeed.
I think they do close on Sundays, especially here. But
Yeah.
go out on a Saturday and go and have a look at what sort of car you want.
I imagine, most people probably do that because obviously working 5 days a week probably means most people have little time to be browsing cars for sale. So yeah, most people probably go on a Saturday. I imagine it's probably quite a busy business day for many car dealerships.
I bet it's absolutely heaving.
Yes.
It'll be absolutely heaving there
Indeed.
because people will be having a look around, and it's up to you whether you want to upgrade or just keep the car that you have now, because that's what I mean. I went from I had my starter car was a 2004.
Yeah.
Then I went to a 2010, and then the one I've got now is a 2019. So
getting that upgrade right there.
yeah, well, the car I've got now, I really wanted to get one that had front and back parking sensors.
Yes.
Which I have, and an inbuilt entertainment system, which I wanted. I wanted the inbuilt entertainment system because I've got a sat nav and I can run music and do all sorts of good things like that. The reason I've got front and back parking sensors is my spatial awareness skills are not the best. I really have difficulty with the space around me and going into parking bays.
Yeah.
So when I've got parking sensors, when you reverse out of a parking bay, and
Yeah.
obviously you've got the sensor to make sure you don't hit the car behind or hit the car in front, it's so
Yeah.
helpful.
It is.
'Cause you can assess the rate. 'Cause it's bip 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 bip.
Yeah, it gets faster.
And that's when you know when you've crashed. When
That's
it's
Phil's,
parking sensor, beep.
Phil's amazing impersonation of parking sensors. There you go. You heard
Yeah,
it here
that's-
first. But yeah, parking sensors are a great addition.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Majority, I think, actually just have back rear parking sensors, but it's always a
Yeah.
good thing to have front as well, so you can test
Indeed.
both ways.
Yeah, mine's just back, which is fine. I can sort of handle that fine. That's okay. So yeah,
It actually comes up on the screen. I've got a screen as well, and it comes up with the how far you are to the
Yes.
to the cars and everything. So that's always useful.
Indeed. I think my parents' car actually also has one where it actually has a camera. So it comes up as
Yeah,
you're
now I've been
reversing.
thinking
Yeah.
about that.
You actually
I've been
see.
thinking about
Yeah.
installing a camera. There's an auto electrician near me, and they might be able to install a camera
Yeah.
in that, so it links up to the screen on my entertainment system.
Yeah.
So it could be a good idea because you could see then.
Indeed. But yeah, parking sensors are always a good one. Yeah, if you can get a car with those, they're really great. It's one of those little conveniences that just makes operating your vehicle so much easier in certain
As well as
respects.
sat nav. If you get a car with an inbuilt sat nav, most newer cars now do have inbuilt sat nav.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to get that going rather than just fiddle around with your phone.
Indeed.
And pull it up and then and work out with your phone. So that's very useful.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what else is useful? I should really get dash cams.
Oh yes, dash cams.
Oh god, yeah, they are very useful, especially
They
when
are.
someone's trying to pull out insurance scams on you or anything.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's one of those things which me and you have actually talked about many times before, and yeah, I don't think either of us have ever actually got around to
Yeah, I know.
getting our hands
really
on.
should get it because they're very useful to monitor. I think many people do have them nowadays.
Yeah. So useful, like you say, just for making sure nobody's trying to pull a fast one on you, and all that.
Also, when getting a car, two vital things that you must know. Otherwise, if you do it incorrectly, you will destroy the car. First off, is your car petrol or diesel?
Oh, yes.
Because for God's sake, if you put the wrong type of fuel inside, you will destroy the engine.
Yeah.
The same with oil. If you put the wrong oil in, or you don't put any oil in, and it runs out of oil, you're going to damage the engine, and that will be very expensive. So do keep those in mind. I can't remember if it's one of them. If you put diesel and petrol, is it diesel and petrol or petrol and diesel? There's like a lock that blocks you from putting it in.
Oh, is
I
that?
can't remember which way. I can't remember which way round it is actually. It might be if you attempt to put diesel into a petrol car, it won't allow you.
Okay.
It will basically lock up, which is really useful. But yeah, if it doesn't, please, you need to be cautious and know what type of fuel the car takes, because you will destroy the engine if you put the wrong type of fuel in, and you'll have to get a mechanic shop to actually drain
Yeah.
the fuel out of the tank. they'll have to completely drain it, which will be an expensive charge, won't it?
will, yes.
Again, with oil, if you don't put in the right oil for the car, or you don't put in enough oil, luckily your car will warn you when your oil level is low.
Yeah.
And you have to do the famous dipstick check.
Yes. Get that dipstick and check that oil level, indeed. One other thing actually we haven't really mentioned though, because we've touched on insurance obviously briefly already, but you know, a definite recommendation as a car owner is always make sure you shop around for insurance, use your price comparison sites year after year.
Oh yes, yeah, because they will
will
try and nab you by making it go up. Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
It's ridiculous though. Like this year, I switched insurance to a different provider because the one I was with, I was previously paying about 300 and something. But the price they gave me for renewal for this year was like, it jumped up to about 500 or something. I was like, hell no, I'm not paying that. So I searched around.
You know why they do it?
Managed to get it down.
You know why you do it? They want you to they want you to just stick with it. That's why they put it up. They don't want you to call and say, hang on a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So
I think
they do it sort of surreptitiously.
A lot of them are just sort of hoping that you will not have the time or patience to sort of query it, and that you'll just sort of go along with it, like you say. But no, you've got to get on your price comparison sites, have a look around, and definitely shop around, because usually you will find for the exact same type of cover that your previous provider was giving, you'll find someone else who's giving the exact same thing but for a much cheaper price. Then you can go with them instead. So yes, that's another very big definite recommendation that I would make about buying cars and all that. Ah yes.
Cars are a lovely thing. You might not need them. You might find you can just rely on public transport, things like that. But if you do want to get one, yeah, take these tips into consideration.
Yes.
Think about what's been said, because they are a very like buying a house, and it's a very big expense.
Yeah.
To be considering.
Indeed.
But and obviously you'll have to think about all the costs involved. You know, insurance, tax, MOT if you're here in the UK, maintenance fees, petrol/diesel, whichever fuel you take, oil, all that sort of stuff.
Indeed.
You just got to, and any, you know, if you start to hear any, yeah, just be careful as well when your car starts making strange noises.
Oh yes, yeah. Indeed, about a year or two ago.
Oh, and another thing that we haven't mentioned. Oh my God, I can't believe I mentioned it. Make sure you get breakdown cover.
Oh yes, absolutely. When you
you need to make sure you have breakdown cover, because if you have an accident on the motorway, well, you don't have to do it for insurance. You can do it with like the AA or the RAC.
Those as well. Yeah, there's options, ladies and gentlemen.
Lots of options, but yeah, if you break down on the motorway or something, they can come and help you out straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's always a good thing to have, just to prepare for any contingency.
Yeah, breakdown cover is highly important, and they're very good as well. The annoying thing is I had to pay extra for home start, so it's a feature where it's if you break down within 5 miles of your home. Yeah, you have to pay extra for that, but.
That's a bit annoying.
But things like things like motorways, yeah, that's because we obviously had to use the AA for me when we went to
Beamish, yes,
yeah, because
that one time.
Because no, I remember the video where you talked about it. You said the check engine light came on. No. It
wasn't.
It was the oil light.
Oil light.
It was the oil light that came on. Yeah, because there was a little. It wasn't that I didn't have enough oil. There was a little. What was it? Little cable or something that come loose between the oil and thing, and there was a part that had worn away or come loose, so the AM man had to go and find it.
Indeed,
it took him ages to find it.
It
but,
did.
Eventually got there in the end.
Yeah, that was a fun evening, that wasn't it? Hanging around just on some back street somewhere, waiting for the AA person to find what they needed.
Get it sorted.
Yes,
but that. Yeah, we'd have a bit of an issue with that, but it got sorted, and they really helped out.
Yeah,
a quality team. I would say I'd recommend the AA if you're in the UK.
Yes, indeed. But going back to a point you made a moment ago about obviously just listening for any sort of like strange noises come from your car, that just again is a general sort of hint. You know, when you buy a new car, always listen to the sound of the engine when it's fresh and new, and you've got it for the first time. That way, you know, you sort of memorise the way it sounds as it's driving. You'll notice then if there's any sort of unusual noises.
Things you can start. Yeah, you can think like if the steering wheel starts pulling, or
Yeah.
um, you know, that's a sure sign that something's going wrong.
Yeah.
If the steering wheel starts pulling, or you feel a bit weird vibrations in your feet,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, what was it? Maybe like 1 or 2 years ago, with my current car, I had a slight moment like that where um, it was when sometimes I was going over like bumpy surfaces, I'd like hear this like little tiny faint dinking noise as though something had come loose. And so I took it to a mechanic, and yeah, there was like an issue with one of the brake pads, something like that, which we had to get fixed. So yes, always listen for like little noises. And you know, if there's ever anything, something that sounds a bit unusual, and you're not sure what it is, better to be safe than sorry.
Maintenance, that's it.
Yes.
What is the cliche thing? Prevention is better than cure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
get it sorted out.
absolutely, Phil. Indeed. So listen for the little noises in the background that'll tell
Also,
you.
at the end of the day, you don't really want to have a supercar, because the insurance on them is horrendous. I think there was a thing. I think there's a thing that stated if you have to ask about the insurance for a Ferrari or Lamborghini, you can't afford it.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Muscle cars and sports cars and all that, they are gas guzzlers, and they're very expensive to insure, so you're going to be
Yeah.
forking over an absolute huge amount of money for them.
I've actually been in one though. I've been in both a
You
Lamborghini
have,
and a
yeah.
Ferrari. Yeah, I went on as a birthday treat. My parents got me on one of those red letter days,
Indeed.
a double supercar blast, where I got to try a Ferrari F40 and a Lamborghini Gallardo. And fucking hell, you don't understand the speed.
Yeah.
It was really like, it was like a blitz, like bang. It was like acceleration was unreal. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Could not believe it. But yeah, that was so fun when that
Indeed.
happened. Yeah, those red letter days are really actually quite fun. You can get all sorts of experiences that you would never think to have a go at on them. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really everyday racing or red letter days. Yeah.
Not bad at all. Yeah, I imagine with cars like that, they probably accelerate from like 0 to 60 in about a second or something, don't they?
Yeah, they're stupidly.
Yeah,
Um,
scary.
and if you do like your cars and like car shows, obviously where there was Top Gear and the Grand Tour and all that as well.
Yeah.
But hopefully people have had some good advice from buying cars. If anyone's wanting to buy a car, or has already bought a car and wants to move on to a new one.
Yeah.
That's the various processes. Hopefully we're given a few interesting tips and tidbits and things from our own experiences.
Indeed. Yes, well, yeah, I hope you found that useful and informative then, folks. We'll probably sort of start to wrap up here. There's been more life tips with myself and the Philster, hasn't it, Phil?
Yes, we've done another live tip, home buying and now car buying.
Indeed, yes. Home buying, car buying. I wonder what we'll do next. What topic we can think up to go with after this one or that. I'm sure there'll be something.
What could we do? What could we? Yes.
Indeed. Well, we'll think that up in our own time, I do think, ladies and gentlemen. So, yes, thank you once again for joining us for that. Thank you for joining me, Phil.
Absolutely. Hope everyone's been informed.
Indeed. Facebook and links down below, along with a link to my propagandist channel for anyone interested. And if you enjoyed, a like is always appreciated and all that jazz. Well, that is the two of us signing off now. Goodbye, everybody.
See you later.
Well, correct some of the slightly awkward English as they go along. This thing, you know. No, Jesus! Okay, that was a good one. Fucking brat, what the fuck do you... Wow, okay, time to back off. If you're just here to mess around, get your fucking ass out of my sight. Oh, you're friendly. What the hell just happened? Yeah, good question. He thinks he's potentially crazy. It's best not bother him, Alex, that's what Mrs. Susan told me. Okay. Well, Mr. Bosch is a mentally unstable war veteran whose wife recently died. Oh boy. Now I understand that attitude. I suppose it's better that we return to the apartment. Oh joy. Is he going to be evil?